so I think that, after, 20 years of being at the helm, you kind of get caught in the weeds and you start to kind of forget what your role truly is, because you're jumping through each department trying to figure out what's working, what's not working, develop your team, but you still get dragged into the day-to-day. And I think that after coming here, I see more clarity in what my role and responsibility should be, and being able to utilize, our executive team, members below them, to do some of the legwork that needs to be done in order for the business to run efficiently. So I think that's one of the biggest, the clarity of how the business should be structured and run, and putting the people in the right seat on the bus, right? Those buckets need to be filled in order to provide consistency, efficiencies in the organization. I think that, so many times, you think you don't know what you don't know. And again, I never had the opportunity to work with a construction company. I started it from scratch. And so I knew people. And so coming to this type of training has really opened my eyes to how fundamentally to look at a business, because again, sometimes we're really good. Some of the examples we've used is, if you're a good salesperson, you dominate that aspect of it. But then what about the finance piece, and what about the production piece, the service piece? So there's just fundamentally so many different things within an organization, and being a part of this training has allowed me to compartmentalize everything in a way that things are starting to there's some clarity there. I can see through the forest, right? On how to utilize my strengths to get our team to work at a higher, more efficient level. So I think that's one of the biggest takeaways. It's great, because sometimes as a CEO, as a business owner, it's a lonely island. It can be a very dark place at times. And so when you're around other CEOs that have either similar or different experiences, you get to kind of understand that, hey, you're not off the mark. There's some normality to the day-to-day things that people experience that you're experiencing. So it allows you to relate and have a kind of step outside of your body and listen to other people's frustrations that either you're dealing with now, or somewhere down the road you're going to encounter them, and then you can look back to say, oh, I remember somebody talked about this, and then it just sheds a different perspective, because they're human. Sometimes when you're running a business, you feel like you're Superman, and you're not. You truly are human, and that humbleness, I think, is important to stay grounded. And I think that when you bring CEOs together, it kind of puts your feet on the ground.